Today we're going to be taking a look at a set that I've been waiting on LEGO to make for years, that being 75405 Home 1 Starcruiser. This set just released on January 1st with 559 pieces and a retail price of $70 US. And no, I haven't been waiting on a midi-scale Home 1 for years, I've just been waiting on a Home 1 in general from LEGO. For some reason they just never make Rebel capital ships besides the Tantivs, which I've never understood, especially with the Home 1 because it's really the Rebel capital ship. It belongs to one of the most famous characters in all of Star Wars and leads the Rebel fleet in the Battle of Endor. It's a very iconic ship that LEGO has just ignored for years, and no, the 2009 playset does not count. So I'm just very happy that we finally have this thing. It's not a playset, which is what I want the most, but it's definitely a step in the right direction. Anyways though, on the back of the box you're going to find just another angle of the set, along with some dimensions in the bottom right corner, as well as a picture of the actual ship in the bottom left corner. And then opening up the box and digging in, on the inside you're going to find just 5 separately numbered bags, as well as your instruction manual and no sticker sheet, which was a surprise. And since this is an 18+ set, on the inside of the instruction manual, you're going to find some very cool information about the set and the ship itself in Star Wars. There's a lot of cool stuff in here that you can pause and read if you want to. And then throughout the build process, you're actually going to find 3 of these little pop-up paragraphs. The first one talking about Ahsoka Tano, Hera, and R2-D2. The second one talking about the little miniature A-Wing that is included. And the third one talking about Admiral Akbar. But now jumping straight into the build itself, since there are no figures, I have to say, I like this thing a lot. LEGO did a phenomenal job on this. I mean, it is a pretty complex ship, which is actually probably why it took them so long to make it, but in my eyes they did a very good job here. On the very front you're going to see some great shaping and angles where LEGO used some pretty satisfying and fun techniques to pull this shape off. This is probably the least detailed area of the ship, but it still looks really good. But it gets way better when you move on to the middle area. This is where there is the most amount of detail. There's so much going on with all the shaping and different colors and stuff, but at the same time it's not like there's really much to talk about. There's just a lot of detail to look at. But I mean, still, I think LEGO did a great job. I love how they were able to pull off the complex shape of this ship and have all these little details like the various different colors sprinkled throughout and also the little blue windows on the side. It just looks great. Again, there's not a lot of individual things to point out. It just looks good as a whole. The bridges also look good too. I do think they maybe could have used a different piece. I'm not really sure which one, but I think they could have a bit of a different design, although that's definitely a tiny nitpick on my part. They look as good as they need to. You also might have noticed that off to the side back here there is a little miniature Nebulon B frigate that is included. It comes off very easily. It's just held on by this transparent rod that sticks out the side, and it is an extremely simple build, but it communicates the look pretty well. And I guess you could technically just put it off to the side wherever you want on the ship. It's gonna look good anywhere. Now, as you guys might know, usually the engines are my favorite part of most LEGO capital ships, and the engines on this set definitely don't disappoint. They look awesome. They're super small compared to engines on maybe like a Star Destroyer or a Venator, but the staggered positioning of them just looks really cool to me. Now, the only real feature or functionality, I guess, of this build is that the whole entire left side can easily come off to reveal a bit of an interior with some nice transparent blue pieces that kind of represent the hangar doors. At the back you're going to find R2-D2, Hera Syndulla, as well as Ahsoka, and then in the middle you're going to find a very tiny little A-Wing build, which I definitely would try to pull out of here and show you guys, but I honestly don't really want to take apart this whole build just to do that. But just know it looks cool on the inside right here. And then in the front, of course, you're going to have Admiral Akbar and his chair, and then to cover all this back up you just grab that entire side panel and put it back on. It is kind of tricky sometimes, but it's easy to get the hang of. And then really the last thing with this set to see is the stand and the underside. The stand just very easily pops off. It's not held on in a unique way or anything. And then there are some very minor details on the bottom of the ship itself. I'm honestly not sure what it's supposed to look like down here, but it is nice that LEGO actually puts some type of shaping down here and it's not just anti-studs. And then if you're wondering, the stand is just your very basic black mini-scale stand with the printed plaque on the front. I'm gonna go so far to say that I actually think this is the best January set. I mean, I might be a little bit biased just because I really like the Home 1 and I'm super excited that LEGO finally made it, but I genuinely think it looks really good. I mean, I think this is on the same level as the Millennium Falcon and the Super Star Destroyer. It really is that good of a midi-scale set in my eyes. And it's actually reasonably priced compared to the others. I actually originally thought it was 80 until I bought it and realized it was 70, and that was kind of a surprise to me. Obviously, the perfect price point would probably be 65, but 70 is definitely good compared to the other sets that just released. And I know that with the Acclamator, I complained that it didn't have a minifigure, and that definitely still applies to this set in some sense. I think it would be fun if it did have a little Akbar minifigure, but unlike the Acclamator, this set is not near as overpriced as that set is. And the build itself is pretty much perfect. I mean, I couldn't find any flaws on it besides just nitpicks on my part. So I'm feeling a solid 9 out of 10 on this set. Let me know what you guys think about it down in the comments below. If you're new, please consider subscribing. And if you want to check out more videos, you can see on the screen right now.